The 20% off with Michaels?
So attractive.
Yeah, so
My
I think the
daughter's-
Velcro boards are great. If you have, there's a fabric that you can buy, it's called Veltex. That's what's inside of those. And you can just glue it on again. But I really do like the canvas because it's been sturdy. Some of the other classrooms have liked them too and have picked them up.
Can you
But
show us what it looks like?
sure.
When we go on the tour of the classroom?
Yeah,
can
yeah,
you show
yeah, I'll
us the
show you.
canvas? I'm just
Because
curious to see.
our job chart's on it, our class circle time rules are
So
on
you
it.
just do the adhesive Velcro
Right on the
on the
canvas.
canvas.
Yeah, and they seem to be holding up really well.
What I like is your point about real pictures. Because, I've done a lot of visual schedules in the past, and thinking about it now, I used to do a lot of cartoon pictures. And I do think you're right, that kids probably seeing real pictures might be beneficial for them to understand. Because I've had them be like, what is going on with this picture?
Yeah.
And like, I realized they actually didn't understand it.
I had one like you, similar, like, was very sad all day waiting for mom. And so I took pictures of her throughout the day, doing, we're going outside, now you're eating snack. And it was specifically for her, just on the
Yeah.
door frame, and she could look and know
Right.
the schedule.
And it's super powerful for them to look
Like,
at a
that's
picture
me,
of
and then
themselves
it's how you
and see that they're
talk
doing
about
something like the way you're intending it, and then, oh, right, I get that. And I think when they're part of that process of taking the pictures, they feel really proud and they like it. That's why I thought they would have extra space on it. So another idea that we had mentioned earlier was puppets.
Yeah, that's
Do you
what I
have
was gonna
some
say.
other ways that you currently teach expectations and rules? I thought the one in the video where the lady did the
Yes, red and green.
the red and green, that was a really cute idea to do just some sort of circle time activities.
We do the monkey, jumping on the bed.
No jumping on the bed.
Yeah, we have fun with that. I don't want to
A song?
on the bed. Sing it all.
Oh yeah, songs are great ways.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'll try to use the puppets more to introduce.
Because that's already built into our
Right.
curriculum and it's there, to just use them, because there's even a picture of Molly the cow saying a rule. Well, not Molly can teach us that rule. And
Yeah.
her friends
Yeah.
can do that. So just consciously doing that more rather than, here's a rule.
And the really important thing about the rules is that you're teaching it at a time when it's not when it's expected to be followed. So you're teaching it at this quiet time, like circle time, or some of the older kids, like they teach theirs at a small group time. Because you could have an activity that's around your rules. We'll get into it later, but we'll teach Tucker the turtle. I mean, that's an exploration that you can do in small group activities or with just a couple of kids at a time to just reinforce those rules. So songs are great, puppets. You can read stories to reinforce the rules. Stories where kids don't follow the rules and you show the consequence of what happened, or kids that are following the rules. Like we teach tap, ask, and then waving hands. Well, we read this book in our cooking unit that's just about this little boy asking for a cookie, and he goes around doing it all the wrong ways. But at the end, he does it the right way, and his hand is like on his mom's shoulder, and I'm like, this book is amazing, because it just reinforces, hey, look, he's tapping his mom on the shoulder, and his hands are sitting like this, and I'm just like, this book is reinforcing exactly what we want to do. So books, even if they're not intended to be what your topic is about, if they demonstrate it, then they're a great resource to have to read to kids and reinforce the rules.
And I like to do interactive, a little older, but like interactive play it out,
Yes.
and have them actually, and try different like roles and stuff. I think that's always a good one. And to practice the skills. Like there's this book I read for the teasing called Simon's Hook, and it gives all these different strategies for dealing with like kind of bullying. And so what I would do is I'd create little fishies. I'm not that creative, but I put little fishies on a fishing pole, and then I'd have different teases, and then they could come up with their own solutions to the tease. And then they were practicing it, so if they were ever in that situation, that they've already done that through something similar, and they know what their 5 strategies are.
And the great thing about the role playing is it gives kids time in a non-pressured, non-fast environment to kind of think through it, what am I gonna do, how am I gonna handle that? Yeah, role play is fantastic, especially for parents at home, because you can have the toy doing or feeling the way that they're feeling and what should they do. So especially helps with the anger, frustration piece, how they can problem solve. When you teach your solutions, we only teach 3 solutions in our class: trading, using a timer, and getting another. But we have to specifically break down, how do you trade? I mean, that's kind of a complex thing. I have to have a toy in my hand, you have to have a toy in your hand, I have to ask you to trade, you get time to think, then we trade if we're going to. I mean, it's a pretty in-depth process, but we have to go through all those steps with them so that they know how to do it. And role-playing or is another way to, because they'll do it with the puppets.
Kids love puppets. I think what it is about puppets, that is like the best thing.
Any other creative ideas coming to mind? We will truck on. All right, now we're going to kind of move a little bit into the transition piece. Actively engage during routines, including transitions. It eliminates wasted time and provides opportunities for learning. So just kind of like we did with that transition today, there was no reason why when you went up to get your materials, you couldn't have a learning opportunity with a science experiment or structure building or partnership, friendship skill. There's lots of embedded learning opportunities that we can get into a transition. So what do we need to ensure we have a smooth transition? As always, we need the child's attention. They can't follow directions if they're not listening. We need to teach the expectation before we go on the transition. So before we go down the hallway, we need to teach them about walking feet. We need to practice it. We need to talk about it again. We need to really reinforce that skill before it's expected to be used. We're going to use pictures and cues and whether it's sound cues or verbal cues or the lights turn off, whatever cues you need to help them understand, and try to keep that one technique is just for that. So for us, the lights turn off means cleanup time, and that's the only time the lights turn off during the day. That drum sounding is only for coming in from outside, and we don't use that drum for other things, because then they know when they hear that sound, that's what it means. That's just what we were talking about, pairing it so that having 2 ways of demonstrating when the transition's coming is more effective than just using one, especially if it's just verbal. So we want to pair it with something else.
With your verbal.
Yeah, a picture or a sound or maybe some sort of motor activity that goes with it. And keeping that positive language, we're telling them what we're doing. When we're walking down the hall and I know they're just itching to like get the wheels going, it's like we're singing a song, we're going back to class, we're gonna sing a simple time goodbye, whatever. You know, just, you can put it into words and make it so that you're just reinforcing that expectation the whole way and giving praise to
And
the
our
kids.
finger up, finger, and anytime there's a transition, put finger. So kids are moving up and down always.
But that, just singing that song just reinforces if they're thinking about it, maybe doing something different, or they're forgetting because they're distracted. You're just singing it in a friendly song, reminds them of what they're supposed to be doing. Letting them know what happens next. Just because we walk down the hall doesn't mean when we get in the classroom the kids actually know what they're supposed to be doing. So as we're walking down the hall, we're reminding them we're going inside to sit on our pillows to sing goodbye. We're going inside to sit on our pillows. What color pillow were you sitting on? Oh, you were sitting on yellow. Oh, I remember you was traded and you're sitting on purple now. Just feeding them that information so that when you get to the door, they're already set up for success because they know what to do. You just reminded them what color pillow they're sitting on, and they'll be ready to go. For transitions, just beginning when a few kids are ready. You don't have to wait for the whole class to be there. In fact, a lot of transitions seem to work better when kids are kind of trickling over because there's not that waiting time.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Dominic is so cute because I started doing this. Oh, I remember what we're doing now. We're gonna go, and I just do this. and he'll get in the room, and right before we sit down, he'll go, "I'm happy!" It's like, oh my goodness. It's just because I'm singing.
Yeah.
It's the only reason. Everything is a song.
Miss Kay is one of the other preschool teachers. She can turn anything into a country western song. Hey, y'all, don't look at it. And it's so cute. And I mean, the kids are totally zapped into what she's doing. We talked about this a little earlier when we looked at our schedules, but minimizing the number of transitions so that when you do have them, kids are okay with it and they're likely to comply with what you're doing because there's not too many. If we're asking them to do, a ton of transitions during a short period of time, it's exhausting for them, and we can only expect so much out of them. So we have to be mindful of that. And the length of time waiting. I mean, if you're doing Child Shines and all, Colorado Shines, you already know all that stuff. But if they're waiting in line, there's going to be trouble. So those kinds of transitions that dismiss people at a trickle, whether it's with puzzles or blocks or whatever, keeps them from waiting, keeps kids engaged and moving. And even though they're in different stages, they're all participating in that activity. The adults are prepared. I mean, it does take a little work. You've got to have your tray of baking soda already poured out or whatever you're going to do. But as long as you plan for it, it goes really smooth. We'll get into this in a little bit, but a lot of kids do need that warning piece, some more than others. And that's when you just kind of put those goggles on. Who needs a little extra help? And you go quietly over and tell them or give them whatever they need. We have some kids that want to take things to circle time with them. And I'm okay with that, as long as they're sitting still quiet at circle time. If they need a transition out, that's fine. And if you, like I said, those individual supports for the kids who need it. So what are some visual things you can do to support? You could turn off the lights. You could draw lines on the floor, put pictures on the floor. We have a line leading up to our pillows on the floor that's just tape, so they know that this is how we're waiting for our turn to go up and ask the pillow helper for a pillow. You can buddy up kids together with their pictures. Like some of those other classes do shapes, and all the triangles are going to go do something. Or you could even give smaller team names to little subsets. Maybe the older kids are the zebras and the little kids are the pandas or whatever, and that kind of helps you segment them. And visual cues of what to do. So if you need to have those pictures just to help remind them when they get to those times what's expected of them. Let's see. These are just some individual cues. This is 3 things. They're showing them it's on a on a Velcro board. This one's an individualized one just for this particular child. And this one's for a baby. I mean, even babies can have visual cues. We just need to make it appropriate. This one's signaling diaper changing for them, so they're getting out the diaper. But the first then boards, again, those are great for transitioning, especially for kiddos who have trouble. In this case, like there, they've got 2 things that are there in the first, which maybe they have to, but sometimes it's a choice. Which one do you want to do first? Let them choose, and then have the then. The then is typically, if you can make it, always follows. The then is something they actually prefer to do. Here's another transition with choices. They use the little feet prints to line up. Do you want to be 2 or 7? Do you want to be the blue foot or the brown foot, whatever it is? Giving kids that choice, they're much more likely to get in line if you're letting them choose. So this one is actually not only just seats for circle time with their picture, so the kids know what to do, but they've been taught that there's a red border. There's a red border on this row, which is a little hard to see, but they're taught to put their toes on the red border. That's something they're looking at. And then this picture is actually the child sitting in the expected way at circle time. So in this class, they're supposed to sit crisscross applesauce, keeping their hands to themselves. So this picture not only indicates where the kid should sit at circle time, which helps the teacher maintain that transition, but the photo is a reminder when she glances down, this is what I'm supposed to be doing at circle time. Keeping my hands to myself, quiet, crisscross applesauce. Here's another one. We put up a piece of fabric with a stop sign on it, but This one has covered shelves with fabric so that it's not tempting during circle time. We close off everything before we're gonna have circle time, so there's no temptation to go stand up and go play with toys. Because if you're trying to have circle time, like you said, right next to other things, you can't catch them and bring them all back. But if there's a piece of fabric that's just draped over and we have a stop sign that's just Velcroed right on the front, now they know all the toys are closed. And so, because they're closed because we're having circle time. You can do turn taking at centers by using these we've talked about those with the sign-ins, who's using the computer, if they're old enough to write, we can write their own names. You can use timers, which I think is the next slide if you want to go. I think for younger kids, visual sand timers are the best thing you're ever going to spend your money on. We have 2-year-olds in our class that by February now, they can go manage taking turns and doing things, setting expectations, how long to sit at a snack table. If somebody needs to sit a little longer at an activity, you can say, we're going to stay until the timer is all done. You can also use it as a warning, you don't want to come do this activity right now? Okay, when this timer's all done, then you can come over and do it. Or we're going to clean up in 3 minutes, and that's when this timer's all done. The visual timer is a great cue for kids.
And to go off that, I have had to be on the phone a ton lately for this and auction stuff. And Everett has been getting so frustrated because he needs help with homework, he wants my attention. And so we kind of decided that the timer would be a rule for me. And so he'll go and show me the blue timer and flip it over. And it's true, it's like if I've been on the phone forever, he's really good, he's not too demanding, but if I've been on the phone a long time, he'll would give me can I get the timer, and I'll give him the thumbs up, and he'll turn it over, and I gotta get off the phone when the time stands all gone. And it's great because then I'm showing him that, I have to own that too, so it's good.
And you're showing him mutual respect too, I love that.
Exactly, yeah.
My kid does it too. Sully, he grabs the timer when I'm on the phone and turns it over to give me. And he'll give it to baby sister when she has a toy that he really wants to play with. He flips that right in front of her. She has no idea, but then he takes it after 3 minutes. Hey, you're managing that. It's mine. I don't have to say anything.
You know what's funny about Jessica? My little 18-month-old baby, when I turn the timer over, she'll go, uh-oh. And she looks around to see what's the timer for.
That's
It is so funny. She does and she watches it.
Powerful.
We're going to watch a video about this, but this is something that someone made called the 5-minute Velcro glove, especially useful for kiddos who have a hard time transitioning off of maybe playing with toys. These little numbers are Velcroed on. For the 5, they have a bell for that auditory piece. They've got the visual of the numbers. This one's with Mr. Patino Head, but they can walk around and say there's 5 minutes left, and now when it's 4, she can pull out the 4 minutes left. But we'll watch a video of her using it or not now. So this is a video of someone using the
She was 5 more minutes to play. 5 more minutes to play. Carla, mira. 5 more minutes to play. Carla, can you remove number 5? Alright, and then how many minutes? How many minutes now? 4. No problem. 4. Very good. That means 3 more minutes. Okay, put it right here, right here. Okay, guys, 2 more minutes. Okay, number 2.
I heard the beep. When this drum goes off outside, I don't know why I started singing the song, but I go, oh friends, I hear the drum. And it cracks me up because these little 2-year-olds are trying to sing it outside. They'll bang the drum and they're like, oh. Trying to get the words out. It's really funny. But those visual cues are so helpful, and they just prevent a lot of things, and they keep kids on a successful track. I think there's There's another video of a toddler. She's transitioning to getting a diaper. So this girl isn't old enough to have a lot of verbal skills, but you can watch. I mean, even the youngest can still use these transition objects quite successfully.
And it's not just the kids who copy you, because Molly got me hooked on that, and we taught opposite days, so Molly's definitely hooked to other friends, that's for sure.
Mahalia, friend. Your turn, Mahalia. Come to the bathroom. Come on. Change your diaper, Mahalia. Thank you. Thank you. Good girl. Thank you. Up. Mahalia. Up. Up. Down.
There's one more you can get ready with the little kiddo outside. But what do you see in those videos? I mean, they made that transition really smooth for
That's what
somebody
my
else.
kids do, because they know it's coming, I'm like, oh, where are you? And then almost all of them will walk over to me.
When it's diaper change.
Because they know it's fun. Because we interact, that's our one-on-one time.
Oh, that's so- I know, diaper changing is
I
a great time to
love
build a
it.
relationship.
There's one little girl that's like 4, because she knows it takes So she's up there like, oh.
This is a transition video of some toddlers transitioning from in their classroom to going outside.
Alright, friends, Miss Melissa is done. We're gonna use our walking feet to go to the gate. Yep. Alright, good walking feet, you guys. Let's let Miss Sarah.
So again, you saw there was a stop sign on the door. She had a visual cue. She was holding it out so they could be reminded that they're using their walking feet. She told them where they were going, so we're walking all the way to the gate. Just those little cues. It doesn't seem like much, but it makes a huge difference in how the transition goes. All right, so these techniques work with all kids, and there are sometimes when we need to make some minor modifications for kids with special needs. And these are just some of the things that you might need to look at, which is changing your environment around a little bit. Maybe you need to modify the materials just to make the transition go a little bit smoother. Maybe you have to simplify the activity. Maybe what you're able to do for your class is a little bit higher level, or for you guys with mixed ages, maybe it's the same activity, but somehow you modify it a little for the younger ones versus the older ones. Maybe they need special equipment in order to do it. Or modifying, we had a little guy, Vanessa's been telling you about him before, but he couldn't walk when he came to class, he could only crawl. And when we come down to the gym a lot of times, it took him a really long time, so he either needed something special to do it, but then we just started crawling. He could crawl, we could crawl, that's really great gross motor time, good proprioceptive stuff, so we would just crawl down to the gym with him, and we all crawled together, and that was a great way to include him in the transition. Peer support, ways that you can buddy them up with a peer to help. Somebody who's great at holding hands if that's the job, or somebody to just, maybe the older kids help the younger kids to get them over. Adult support, it is true that sometimes one-on-one, Molly might need to go stay with one particular kiddo and give them some extra support during the transition, and the other teacher can take the rest of the kids, but we're still keeping them on the same, everybody's got the same focus. Using the child preferences. If there's something they really like, use it in your transitions. If you know so-and-so is all about dinosaurs and you need to get them inside, then have some dinosaurs or something inside. And then we can structure in some invisible sports, which are kind of what we've been talking about, putting those things in ahead of time that they don't even realize they are supports, but they're there. So this one is a little activity for just the two of you. We're going to go through we're going to let you two work as a team to help problem solve some transition times. So what we want to do is have each of you think of a transition that's hard for you right now, whether it's coming to circle or outside or walking somewhere, whatever. If you have a transition that's challenging, and then we're gonna share with your partner and help brainstorm some ideas of what do we need to teach the kids, or how might we modify it so that that transition now becomes smooth, successful, and everybody's participating together. So we're just gonna take a few minutes, and if you wanna share when you're done, you can, but it's mostly just a little buddy thinking time, since you're all experts now. But, so think about one transition that's hard, and then share it with your partner, and you guys can problem solve. Any questions?